Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, in which we are doing some night streaming. It's now about half midnight. And today we're going to be working on getting Cinera to be an always-on application. So I've done my homework, and I feel like I've learned this particular thing here, iNotify. This is the API which we can use to monitor file system events. So basically the idea here is I'm just going to say that if we are in Project Edition, then if we're in Project Edition, so if we're in scripting, if we're in Project Edition, so if we're in Project Edition, then what I would say is, what's this here? This is integrating, this is, right. Yeah, here we go. So yes, if we're in Project Edition, then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this switch statement here. This is going to be where we now enter our iNotify situation, basically. And the idea of this being that if we've managed to trigger Project Edition, and to trigger Project Edition you need to pass a project file, a project directory, and a base directory. Like the requirements to do, let me just see if that is true. Pretty sure it is, but let's just see. Yeah, if you passed a base directory and a project directory that isn't the current working directory, it's a bit of a janky setup at the moment, but it's just a quick way for me to actually determine whether somebody's in a Project Edition or not. If we're in Project Edition, then we are going to monitor the project directory. Basically, that's basically the idea. And if this returns fatally, it goes to RIP. Otherwise it breaks. So it breaks out of the switch. It's not going to enter this else. Yeah, it's not going to enter the else. And then it's just going to... Oh, then just declaims the templates. Okay. So yeah, if this whole thing has gone through, then it just goes to the end of program. So I think that's reasonable. So I guess let's just go for it. And as I mentioned, I've done my homework, so I have actually got a successfully running iNotify thing that actually does stuff, but it's not hooked up to. It's not hooked up to Cinera, so it doesn't do anything. It just monitors the directory, and then it determines. It's kind of got to the point where. It's got to the point where it would call refresh project, basically. But rather than calling refresh project, it just prints out, we should be calling refresh project. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to try and do it from memory, and also following the instructions as well. But if I hit any snags, then I always have that other project, that program that I can just go and get, basically. Okay. So yeah, the first thing we need is an iNotify instance. Pretty sure I could just do it like this. I want to do it as init1, so I can make it be the non-block. I believe that's correct. So do the init, and then what we want to do is we want to add a watch. So we need also, yeah, a watch descriptor, isn't it? So is that an int as well? I think it is. And the watch descriptor is going to be so add watch manipulates the watch list associated with an iNotify instance. Each item watched in the watch list specifies the path name of a pile or directory along with some set of events that the kernel should monitor for the file referred to by that path name. Each watch has a unique watch descriptor, an integer returned by identified watch. Okay. So I feel like this is correct. iNotify add watch. It's in sys iNotify.h. Oops. What? Okay. In fact, I'll pop it straight up here. I suppose it's self-explanatory that it's all to do with iNotify, but I'll do it anyway. So here we go. What does it take? It takes a file descriptor, path name, and a mask. Okay. So the file descriptor is the iNotify instance. The path is going to be the project directory. Is that correct? And then the mask is going to be, let's just put 0 for now. There we go. So let's make it add a watch on let's just add the watch on enclose right, actually, because that's the only thing that I really care about. Not override was closed. File was modified. file open for writing was closed. Yeah, let's just say enclose write for now. Okay. So I haven't done the watch descriptor. And for now, by the way, we only have the one directory that we want to watch. But once we actually once we have multiple projects that we want to be monitoring, this will become an array of watch descriptors, I think. And it'd have like all the paths go into it, basically. So we've added a watch. When events occur for monitored files and directories, these events are made available to the application as structured data that can be read from the iNotify file descriptor using read. Right, yeah. So we've added a watch. I guess let's get a pointer to iNotify events. Can I do that? Yeah. So this is unused variable, yeah. And then let's say let's read into the, I need to actually allocate some space for it, don't I? That's a point. I need a buffer. Right. Actually, how do I do this? I think it's like this. Let's make it 4K big. I think this is correct. So apparently that is correct. Remember to declaim it. Is that true, actually? We'd probably declaim it. Later on, wouldn't we? Although, strictly speaking, once we're into this infinite loop, I'm not actually going to handle key presses while I'm in there just yet. So let's get this tapping. I feel like I see that emote. Is that an expression that's like kind of like a happiness for a distant memory? Is that what the dist stands for? Yeah, once we're into the loop, I'm not going to handle key presses. So I'm just thinking that the way that the program will end will be with like Control C, basically. If you just manually kill it. So like we probably won't even Well, actually, maybe if refresh project fails, then it might go to RIP. But if it succeeds, then it should just continue looping, really. So it'll break out of the switch statement, but then continue looping. So yeah, the whole point of me saying that was that I probably don't need to bother declaiming the buffer because it's never going to get to that case anyway. Oh, actually, it could do, couldn't it? It could do if it's gone to RIP. Oh, right, yeah. Here we go. If it's fatal here, then we declaim. This is distortion too. His speed was dogs. Oh, okay, right. He's most beautiful and perfect in are there currently. Wow. I haven't even got anything open, have I? Any browser? No. I wonder where this is going to take me. It's taking me to the issue. Okay, fine. Dealey Smith's website doesn't have any thingamajigs. Go to, yeah. Wow. Oh, okay. So I thought Zillaresco was part of the emote for a second there. That reminds me of something. I don't know if it kind of reminds me of the guy from Spirited Away. You know, the big, the no-face person. Go to RFE. So this should be events, I reckon. I think that's sufficient. Declaim buffer. There we go. And this is just unused variable again. Okay. The mascot, yeah, I can see that. It's Mario the Shy Guys, okay. Shy Guys, maybe I don't know Mario well enough. Oh, right. I think. Oh, God. Because of those little dudes, aren't they, that kind of... They're basically the first enemies that you come across. Aren't they? Yeah, mini Shy Guy. That looks more like what I remember it being. What am I thinking of? Oh, Super Mario World was before Super Mario 2, was it? Okay. How do I get to Super Mario Brothers 1? Previous game Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. The next game is that. So the enemy is blue. What's a Goomba? Oh, right, yeah, one of these little guys. Yeah, what was I thinking of then? Sure, I remembered somebody. There was like some red enemy. Maybe I'm just misremembering or something. If I never just still needs to declaim buffer. Well, I hope I don't actually. Um, I hope it'll be fine. Like, I hope it'll just automatically clean up. Um, because that seems to be what happens with the test thing that I did. Like, when I kill it with Control C, it does just work basically. Whereas ordinarily you'd have to like close. Well, actually, you also need to malloc, so you need some memory for the events anyway. So in my test thing, I was mallocing some stuff for the events. But yeah, with Control seeing yourself out of the loop, I don't think you even hit the freeing of the thing, of the memory. So I think I'll be fine, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see exactly what happens. I mean, actually, what I could do, I could just really do that really easily, couldn't I? I don't need to do anything. I can just say here. I don't have sleep, do I not? What's that in? Uni STD. Okie dokie. Oh, mind you, I need to get into this loop, don't I? So hang on. If I just go to main. So the first thing it does is just go into this loop. Oh, mind you, I haven't done anything, have I? Wait. Yeah, I could do this, couldn't I? With like other pull, yeah, the map. Yeah, it's really really handy actually, being able to do that. It's just capital K. It just pops up. I suppose what would be even nicer would be if it opened up in a new window. Like if it opened up in this Tmux pane here. And maybe if it's sort of if this pane tabbed all of the man pages together, that'd be kind of handy. It's probably possible, but I haven't looked into it. But yeah, let's just see what happens if I just go to our directory. I've got an example of this. Yeah. So this should enter the loop. Let's just see. Yeah, it's through Vim, yeah. Right. Okay, so we're in an infinite loop. And we have claim buffered. So obviously we've got some memory. So if I now Control C, yeah, it just dies. It dies gracefully. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, I think that should just be fine. You know, whereas like if I were to at this point, if I were to just say exit, have I got stdio? What is it? How do you do this? RC success. Yeah, whereas like if I were to exit here, this should probably crash. Well, it should probably the A sound should probably complain. doesn't. Oh, mind you. Yeah, right. So exit already cleans up the stuff. So if I instead return, I think this is what should die. Yeah, you see address sanitizers there complaining about the leak. So I guess technically, rather than going to RIP, I might as well just exit. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I like how here is there. Yeah. I mean, I won't deal with that now, but it's something to be aware of, I guess. This might be a bold strategy. I think exit was actually in the example program for iNotify, which is I think why it was on my mind. If you probably you won't need to go to RIP. Yeah, exactly. A few of these error cases will also go away, or at least I'm going to handle them differently once we've got the config file. Because I'd like to give people the opportunity to like configure like a template location while the program is still running. And even if it fails, like even if that template isn't a valid template, the program shouldn't die. It could still just keep running, and it would just tell them that this particular template isn't valid. Or rather, if they've, I suppose this error here would be because it couldn't load the template. So they've just put the wrong path in their config file. But I wouldn't want like an incorrect path to kill the entire program. So a lot of these go to RIPs will probably change into some other kind of error handling code, I guess. But that's something to keep in mind. For once we've got the always on stuff going on. So yeah, we've got our events buffer. Actually, just an illustration of the declaim stuff. I think I should be able to, because I'm going to come into here, none of this stuff is being used. It's going to come through here and call refresh project. So I reckon if I just run this should be okay. Yeah, it does run fine. But if I were to remove this declaim buffer, this should now... Oh, mind you. Yeah, the buffers don't need to be declaimed. Anyway. So, yeah, they don't need to be declaimed. Because when it goes to RIP, it's the memory arena anyway. So all of these declaim buffers are redundant as well. I think the declaiming is only important when something is claimed in a loop. You know, when something has to be repeatedly claimed and declaimed in a loop. But I suppose now that I think about it, maybe that isn't the correct way to do it. Like maybe I shouldn't claim in a loop. Maybe I should do the claiming outside of loops. Yeah, it just moves the memory arena's pointer back the size of the buffer. Well, it sets the first character in the buffer to be a null, and then moves the memory arena's pointer back. And then, oh, it also does this, doesn't it? It also counts up how much stuff was actually used and logs that usage. But really, it's this thing, really. That's the way to do it. But I also have a rewind buffer thing now. Where's that? I also have this, which now moves the pointer back to the buffer's pointer back to the buffer's location. And this also computes the percentage used. So I was kind of wondering there if it'd be more correct to actually claim buffers outside the loop and then when they need to be reused, which is like at the start of the loop, you just rewind them. Maybe that would be the correct way of doing it. And then there would be no declaim buffer at all. Maybe. I suppose that's another thing to think about as well, actually. I mean, I suppose declaim at least is valuable some places anyway, for telling you how much it was used. I don't know. Let's continue on now. So here we go. We've got a buffer for our events. We've claimed our buffer. We've got an iNotify event sitting there waiting to be used. What else do we need? We also need a counter of bytes read. That's going to be used by the read call. And I have a feeling that this might be where I now enter a loop. I think it is. make it sleep for 4 seconds. Well, it's not while one actually. It's kind of like while bytes read is equal to reading. How do you do this? It takes a file descriptor, a buffer, and a size in n bytes. So presumably it's the iNotify instance. The buffer was the event's location. And then the event's size, I guess. And I think this is, while this is not equal to -1. I think. That returns a buffer containing one or more of the following structures. So that's a buffer. Ah, right, yeah. So I think here, what I need to do is... Oh, and also, I don't think this is actually a while at all. I could be wrong, but I think what I need to do is... I think I need to say for... I think it's buffers dot point is equal to buffers... Sorry. Is this right? Let's have a quick look at the other thing. Why do we even have this? In here? It is. Okay, here we go. So yeah, right. So we've got an iNotify instance. If this is not equal to, if that is equal to -1, then we error. Okay. Watch count. I don't need to bother with that. Watch descriptors. So we only have the one at watch descriptor in open and close. So yeah, while monitor directories, I see. So this is another function. And we're just sleeping for 2. Okay, so I think I've done everything okay so far. The only main difference is really that I haven't done the mask like this in open and close. I think I did enclose right, didn't I? So maybe if I don't get anything from there. Hello, Crofer. Welcome to the nighttime stream. Oops. Monitor directories. Still not found, really? So this one was... Ah, right, yeah, so the 4 was for looping over all the events. That was it. So yeah, it does take the ID, for instance, it does take the location of the size. Well, it's not equal to this. Right, so there's this bit as well. Right, let's just grab this. I suppose technically I could also also write this actual function, couldn't I? So the place that was actually being called was here. So this is after having set up the instance and the watch descriptor. So it needs to take the instance and the watch descriptor and the path. Okay. Let's return to our file. So here we've set up the instance and the watch descriptor with these 2 lines here. And then what we're saying is, this is where we would call, this is where we loop actually, isn't it? And it's also while monitor directory, isn't it? While that is equal to success. We just sleep for 4. And then it's the responsibility of that of that person to do all of this stuff. I think so. Let's just see. It needs to take the identify instance, the watch descriptor, and it needs to take the path as well. Why does it need the path, I wonder? I guess I need to check that the path that we're working on matches the watch descriptor's path. I guess still working on the right thing. I think that's right. So this is going to return an int. So an identify instance is just an int, as is a watch descriptor, and a path is a car star. Oh yeah. Oh. Well. In that case, this switch statement has to happen in the actual function. Yeah, it does. pretty sure that's correct. Oh, and I've lost some of the stuff. That's unfortunate. Yeah. It's basically this. So let's just grab all of this. Okay. This might build. Maybe not. Oh, the Marie Arena. Damn. So... Why am I getting the memory in there, I wonder? Guess I don't need to do that. Yeah, like I don't need to be repeatedly... Oh, hang on, maybe I do actually. Oh, they were just passing that buffer. Let's continue as it was, but instead of this, let's pass the arena in. Okay, so what's the complaint here? Expected a semicolon before the thing. Right, so for bytes red. And it's also just a while, isn't it? Right, here we go. So monitor directory. Oh, it needs a collision buffers as well. Jesus Christ. Oh, actually, yeah, it's going to need all sorts, isn't it? If it's calling this, it's going to need everyone. That's unfortunate. Just made the memory in a global, yeah. Yeah, maybe I should just do that actually. Likewise, the config. Oh, actually, yeah, I wouldn't need to make it take the memory arena, would I? Would I? Well, hold on. Like when I call it. Memory arena is undeclared. First use in this function. I mean, it's going to have to be like claim buffer, isn't it? Isn't it? What am I using? I'm using log error. Oops. Have I still got it? Yeah. So it needs to be below log error, I guess. And below the that. So, oh, where's the buffer? Surely the buffer struct is above that, isn't it? That's on line 116. Yeah. I'm trying to identify on that. Maybe I'll just stick with doing it as I am for now. And again, like, just have that as something to make a note of. That would exist, does it? Global memory arena. And the other things were exit. Exit rather than go to IP. And to exit program outright. Yeah, it does, yeah. It's similar to returning, except that it actually it does this as well. All open stdio streams are flushed and closed. And it also does seem to deallocate stuff as well. At exit, yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Does exit the program outright? So even if you're in a function, right? I see. It causes normal processing the value return to the parent. Right. Good question. I think it does. We can try that in just a second. What is does not return? It calls that. The exit function does not return. Oh, it's exit success. Let us see if that's true. So let's just get it building first of all. Right, so if we call monitor directory, let's just see. Right, so yeah, we do that. And if I just exit, too few arguments to function, exit. It was just the exit success, wasn't it? So if I do that, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does exit out, right. Actually, do we know that that's true? Hang on, we don't know that that's true, do we? Because it exited anyway. I suppose, actually, yes, we do know, because this was then looping, wasn't it? So we're currently sitting in this loop here. So yeah, exit does... Well, actually, hang on. Because like, if I just return 1... Yeah, right. Oops. Pretty sure I put a colon there. Out of the loop. Yeah, right. So that was returning. So if I now exit with exit success, yeah, we don't see out of the loop. So yeah, it does exit the program out, right? Yeah. So we're currently in this monitor directory. So this guy needs to take the collation buffer. Oh, we might as well make it take the entire config as well, actually. Mightn't we? For now, at least. Because this one's to be taking... wants to pass the collation buffers through to those guys. It's not quite the path. This is actually the entire config. And you're going to be sending the, well, got to be using that path at some point. So does this now work? No. Index template metadata. Oh, it needs all that stuff. The, right, okay. Jesus. And this just has to pass it as is. It doesn't need to do anything to it because it's already been, this template has already been written. Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Just do this. Oh, it does take a pointer to it. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. If it's fatal, so we just need to return RC. Fatal, I guess. Now what? This is incompatible pointer. Okay. So with a bit of luck, that is okay. Finally, this person is taking everything that it needs. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think it is. We'll see though, won't we? So here we go. We got our events buffer. Bytes red, and we want to say while bytes red. We shouldn't be sleeping. This is where we should be looping through the event buffer. Right, yeah, this is where we need to say the events pointer is equal to the events location. And while the I guess while that plus the location is less than the size, I think events.pointer we want to say events.pointer plus equals the size of an iNotify event plus bytes red, I think. Let's see if I can do that. So the events the events pointer minus the events location. Right, here we go. So size of an iNotify event can do that. Okay. I think that's the correct sense. So this means that I'm looping through the thing. Have I got my event struct set up yet? I've got a feeling I don't. Yeah, I don't. Oh, it's this, isn't it? Here we go. So what I need to do is I need to say the event is going to be equal to the events.pointer casted to and I notify event. Is that how I do that? Conversion to non-scale type requested. Event set were not used. Right, okay. So I've casted the pointer to this. So this thing should be looping through the events. And an event is one of these people here. So let's just see if I can say, if the event length is greater than 0, then print out the event name. Let's see if that's possible. Well, we're not crashing. Now let us go to oh my god, it's ACD, isn't it? And let's CD into Mio's risky business thing, and let us LS isn't doing anything. If I touch something, does that do anything? No. Oh, so we've got something happening here. So what is this actually doing? This is printing the event. Why is the event name so big? I guess it's printing out something that it isn't actually the event, I guess. Because it looks like this is stuff from other buffers. Have I said that? We said events pointer is equal to events location. Claim buffer will already have said that. So got buffer events. The identify event. Event bytes reds. The event should be equal to the event's pointer. So have a quick gander at the other file. So this is saying, oh, it's plus the event length, right? Well, hang on a second. Do we know what the event length is yet? Oh, of course, right. Because what was happening there was that I was iterating past the entire size of the events buffer. So then it was, then it would have been just printing out the next stuff in the arena, I guess. I think that's what's happening there. So there's an LS there. Let's just touch something again. Still nothing. Well, so we've got to identify. So we've got pointer to it. Loop while events can be read from identify file descriptor. I suppose, actually, I'm not checking for everything, am I, yet? While bytes read is equal to read that location size is equal to... Oh, it's not equal. Right, so while it's not equal to that, it needs to do that. Let's just see if that gives us anything at all saying. Okay, so we get one instance of it. So the thing that we're getting is it's printing out something. So something was the file name, wasn't it? So yeah, that was the file name that I wanted to get. But then it went on and printed out this stuff here. Oh, well, So this should be null terminator though, shouldn't it? Optional null terminator name, yeah. The length is the size of the name field. Let's just print out 8 characters. So there we go, we get something. So we get the 8 characters there. And then it's going through another loop. So this is probably because I don't have this while loop set up correctly, I guess. And also, where's that sleep? Let's just make this be 1 second. Just so I don't need to wait for an eternity. So we touch something. We see nothing. Huh. That isn't quite what I expected. So while bytes red is equal to red. So there should be, for some reason there should be bracketing like that, is that right? Identify instance. So while bytes read is equal to read identify instance events.location events.size. Let's just grab that wholesale. So that is exactly the same. So maybe this for loop isn't correct. Loop over all events in the buffer. Oh, while that is less than the events.location plus bytes read. Ah, Right. Let's also just change that to be as it was. So what was it? Sorry, why is it less than that? Plus bytes red. The program was still running while I was rebuilding it. Nothing. So the event dot len is greater than that. Plus event dot len. Yeah. Events dot pointer. Oh, yeah, again, I've just remembered actually about the thing. In close right. This was actually in open. And that. So maybe that is getting in our way a bit. Well, maybe not. Actually, back unloading the dishwasher. Nice. Yeah, so this isn't adding something to the thing, which is a relief. Yeah, and it wouldn't do anyway because all we're doing is printing out the things. We found, yeah, so we found events. So for this, let's just print out here. We are ostensibly looping over the events. And we're not. Oh. I think I might know what's happening. There we go. Extensive loop here of the events. We found the events. Right, so what was happening there was that it was failing here. So because we weren't actually returning success, we were exiting this loop. Basically. That was the issue there. So we actually need to finish off the whole thing. But now let's just try and say There we go, we're getting something. And likewise, if I echo some text into something, we should also get an event as well for this. Yeah, we do. It's interesting that we get 2 events. So we would need to see what type of event it was. Let's say if the event is 0, then we print out the name. And then if we say the event mask ended with enclose right. We do this. Else we die. We just return RC success so that it can actually enter the loop again. We're ostensibly looping over the event, so Kidoki. Touch that. We're still ostensibly looping over the events. So the mask ended with enclosed right hasn't done anything. For now, echo. Yeah, we get nothing. Let's print out the mask. So we touched something. So we've got 32 and 8. So okay. The event. Oh, hang on. It's the event mask. Yeah, right. That's how you need to do it. Oh, that was what I was doing. So I was saying, it's the event mask ended with enclosed right. Then we say it was written to. Well, what is well, what are the masks? Probably won't say actually, will it? Yeah. Enclosed right, file opened, writing was closed. Does it loop over and over, or does it make the thread stop? It, I believe it loops over and over. So it's a non-blocking thing as well. So I don't even have anything to do with the threads. But when you do I notify init, you can do it in this non-blocking mode, which is the one that I've gone for. And I think what that means is that whenever monitor directory reads from it, so whenever you do this read call, I think what that means is that this read call doesn't block. So like if it doesn't find any events, for example, it will just pop out of the loop and it'll sleep. It'll do this sleep here. think we should see that happening. So with a bit of luck, I'm going to call this, and it should just sleep every second. Yeah, you see that happening there. And then if I were to touch something, we get this ostensible looking of the events, and we get a couple of events here. So to make that even more clear, actually, if I make it sleep for like 8 seconds, and then it's just going to sleep. If I touch something, and then touch something again, this should give us two events for it. And as you can see, it does. It gives us a pair of them, a pair of events, and then it starts to sleep again. So while it was sleeping, I think, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I think it just, like, the file system must just sort of report all changes, I guess. And then when you come to read the iNotify file descriptor, it just finds all of the things, even while it was asleep, you see. So this was another thing that I had to find out, exactly how that worked. Which I don't understand how it works, honestly. But I was kind of thinking, like, do I need to make the sleep happen inside this loop here? But that doesn't seem to be the correct way of doing it, because I think when you do that, I think you can lose events. Oh, maybe that isn't true actually, but yeah, I think I just found out that making it sleep at the calling site was the correct way of doing it. I probably should actually, now that I mention it, I probably should just declaim the buffer actually before returning, because otherwise this is just going to keep filling up the memory arena. What was it? But yeah, if that made any sense, I think that's what happens. That it doesn't make the thread stop because I've passed it as I've set it up as a non-blocking thing. Also, actually, let us say here, because now that I've actually got the thing doing something, let's make it only look for enclosed write, which was the previous thing. Right. And now if I call it, yeah, we only get the one event, which is that. So I bet enclosed write is actually this write event. It doesn't find deletion events in delete. Oh, okay. Let's just see about that then. Yeah, okay, so that's how you do that. What if I need to check if the watched file directory itself is deleted? Let's do without in delete for now. And let's just see if I can just get this masking thing to be correct. Because we figured out it was mask 8. Right, so if the event mask ended with enclose right, oops. Okay, so that is how you do that. How did I do that? Blimey. That was my file browser that just popped up there. Oops. Who knows? So yeah, that seems to be fine. So if it's written to, then we need to call refresh project. Is that right? Is that all we need to do? Let's just see if that's true. What would happen with this actually? If it's yeah, I mean, against all the odds, I think I might have set myself up for success. I think I might have done. Let's just say though. Well, actually, let's leave that if 0 in. I suppose no op as well, maybe. The error fatal. Yeah, okay. So will this even build? It does build. We are never going to get to here. Right. I bet we never get to here. Because the only event that we care about is enclose right. And if we get enclose right, then we're going to call refresh project. And then we're going to oh wait, hang on, yeah, if RC success, then we break. So with a bit of luck, we shouldn't hit this RC error fatal. If we do, then we're in a terrible situation. Well, actually, yes, I think we would be in a terrible situation. Potentially. Because this error directory is basically if you can't make a directory. The error fatal. was for some other reason. But if we succeeded, then we break out of the switch. Oh! Oh, we need to continue looping over the events. Right, yes, we need to continue looping over the events. Is that right? Yes, that is true, isn't it? So after having looped over the events, maybe this would be correct. Should we just run it and see? Like if this succeeds... Let's see what happens. So let's first of all sort of say, let's just move risky... What have we got? 46. Let's move risky 46 into the previous directory. Let's remove risky index. Right. And then let's run our program. Let's just cap the index. So it hasn't it hasn't built the index yet. That's troubling, isn't it? Because it hasn't had any events yet. Oh, right, yeah. It hasn't had any events. So it's still sitting there waiting for an event. Yeah. Oops. So let's try that again. There we go. Now we get the index, the risky index. So we cat it. The last one it finds is risky 45. So now, if I move risky 046 into here, we probably won't get any output here, sadly. It might be an idea if we make refresh project or somebody output whether it's added anything. But let's move that to here, and then let's again cat the index, and it hasn't It hasn't added it to the index. That is unfortunate. So what was that again? Enclosed right. Generate for the directory of the the directory was in access. Files access that. So yeah, I suppose it wasn't necessarily closed, was it? I mean, what I could do is actually I could force it, couldn't I? I could just sort of say, risky 046. What? Where am I? If I just write it. Right. And then if I cat the thing. There we go. It's now taking it on. So I need to check for I mean, that isn't really a very good test because I'm not actually going to be moving files around. Although, well, I mean, maybe we would actually. And hang on, so mind you, actually, no refresh project actually takes everybody on, doesn't it? I was going to say, like, how do we know? Like, how did it know, like, which file to actually add to the thing? And that's because it just loops over everything in the directory. So right, yeah. So it moves. What file is something? Generate for the directory going to the file is renamed. So let us try and, instead of doing this switch statement here, let's just stop our program and let's move that again. And let's remove the index, of course, as we need to do. And let us say let's just print out the event mask. So let us see if we actually do trigger an event. Basically, that's what I'm trying to do here. If I move risky into here, do we trigger an event? We don't. Well, it's because we're only looking at these events, isn't it? So let's do that again. Yeah, enclosed right. So we need this to be basically everything. Never done struct name that for a cast, but I guess you need that for a C-style cast, the struct part. I think so, yeah. Yeah, I guess because struct name isn't type deft, I guess. I think so, yeah. Exactly. Like I have to, when I first of all even get one of them. Uh, sorry. What is it? It's an I notify event, isn't it? I notify. Yeah, like when I first get it, that's the cast. Yeah, when I first get it, I need to use struct, so I guess it's just not type deft. Oops. So we got a couple of events there. We've got some more events here. Actually, what are we actually even looking at? I think we're just printing out all the masks of all the events, aren't I? So that gives us some more. If I just move risky out of the way again. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to re-trigger the guy. Oh, that's a point. In fact, that's pretty interesting, actually. I reckon. Oh, we're not even calling refresh project, so we're fine. I was gonna say, like, in this situation, I could probably remove the index file and then just trigger an event and get it to regenerate the entire thing. Here we go. We just triggered those. Let's just give me. It's been unfortunate that they kind of they look exactly the same. What if I can do some way of like disambiguating them? I mean, if I could get the time, I could do that, couldn't I? But I don't actually know how to get the time. So ls, that gives us those. So now if I move, just wait for that to settle down. So if I move those guys into here, we are going to get nothing. Is that true? So moving a file into this directory triggered no event. Is it in access? Is that what I want? Link counts. Oh, link counts. No, don't want me that. Close writes. Close no writes. In creates. Oh, in creates. Ah, yes. That's what we need to check on. So in open, in close, and in create, right? So this time, if I just move that guy out of the way again, run our program, and then if I do this, well, hang on, if I first of all do ls. Wow, Sergio's here. Did the Twitch chat, but I don't have an IRC client installed in this. Oh, dude. The Twitch chat. I do read the Twitch chat. I have both of them coolly visible. So yeah, if I move this into here, hopefully this will trigger something at least. It doesn't again, that's unfortunate. Generated for the directory contain the new file with the file in moved to. Well, oh, mind you, it's a move thing, isn't it? So maybe that would make sense that it would be an in moved to. So yeah, it wants an in create. We know we want in close, definitely. Let's remove in open, because we really don't care about that. Let's try getting to move. So we're running. So if I ls, so we now get that. We get that again. So if I move this in now, aha, we get 128. So in moved to. So what we want to see is we're looking for the only things we actually care about is in close right and in moved to. I reckon those are the two cases that we actually care about. So if I just move that to there, so move this out of the way again. Oops. And then run our program. And then move that in. We get 128. And then if I touch something, we should get, yes, we do get the 8 for the enclosed right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is perfect. That's the present last episode stream. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm making progress. Currently, I'm making it basically be an always on thing, so it'll kind of pick up new annotations as they come in, basically. But only for projects. So I mean, it only really makes sense for projects because, like a project has, it's got like a directory of stuff, and it has like an output directory as well. Whereas like a one-off set of annotations doesn't really have that as such. I mean, it does have default sets, but they don't really make much sense, and I don't think it would make sense to kind of make the program kind of watch for like individual annotations that aren't associated with the project. That might not have made any sense at all. So I could probably do with just demoing exactly what that means. Essentially, so yeah, I mean, I the way that I'm conceptualizing a project is it's something that has a project directory, which is, in the case of Risky Business, it's this directory here, and it's also this directory which I'm sitting in over here. So this has all of the files for Risky Business. Something isn't part of it. Let's just remove it. And it also has like an output directory. And the output directory for this is it's just this. It's just test, and then the date. That's the current date. And this directory here contains where is it? It's in here. This contains all of the files. So it's got like, this is the contents page, and then inside all of these people is the pages for the player. Now the thing about one-off sets of annotations as opposed to projects is that they don't have a table of contents. So they don't need to like update a table of contents. They don't need to call refresh project, because it doesn't make sense to do that for those guys. All that they do is generate a player page and just output it wherever you tell it to output. So so for like a one-off thing, the input file is just a single file basically. Oh well, it could be a collection of it could be a number of files, but they're just not associated with the project, and they don't get added to an index file. But now, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the project side of it working so that when you add a file to like this directory, well, it's actually what is it? Like when I make a new set of annotations in here, it will actually pick it up automatically. And then because you've like called this in this manner, because you called the program like this, passing this project directory and this output directory, it will kind of just update the stuff for you. That's basically the idea. Oh, by the way, did that bug get fixed? The bug with the tablet. I saw on Twitter like somebody had possibly found the solution. And I don't think Casey hasn't actually streamed, has he? Thanks for the explanation. You're welcome. The bug finally died. Yes, awesome. Let's plus search for that. It wasn't a solution, it's something else. Right. Okay. Yeah, so if Inclo's right, so I think here, because we're now only watching for Inclo's right, And in create, is that what we've looked for actually? Oh no, sorry, in moved from, or in move to. Now that that's all that we're looking for, and that's all that we're getting out here. I think whenever we find an event, we just need to do the refresh project, I think. Pretty sure that's how that works. Some other person had submitted a possible fix, and he came really close, but not quite. Okay. So what was the actual fix? So yeah, 46 is the most recent. So if I just move, let's move 46 out of the way. Let us remove the index for risky business. And now let's run our program. So the program is running. So we had removed this, but this should now be back. So if we just cat that, so we get that up to 45. Now if I move risky business into here, we get the event. We don't need to print it out, but now we're going to be switching on refresh project. And if I now cat the index, we now have pure and utter insanity in the index. So that's it. In a nutshell, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah, right. So I can actually probably do that kind of cool in here. So let's just try this again. Let's remove the printf because we don't need that anymore. We're pretty sure that this is fine. And also let us move 2 people out of the way. So if I move risky business 46 and 7 out of the way, sorry, 45 and 46. And 46 is probably out of the way now, isn't it? Yeah. So those guys are currently sitting here. Now let us kill the index. Now if we run our program, yeah, let's just run the program like this. Refresh. So the most recent one is, wow, gosh, it's 2:30. The most recent one is here at exactly 2:30. We refresh. We've got a new one here at 2:32. So here's our table of contents, and it goes down to more confusion over LEDs. And if you look at this little area here, you can see that Risky 043 is the most recent one. Risky 043? Wait a minute. Where's 44? That seems to be a bit busted, doesn't it? Because it's got 044 here. Here's 044. But it isn't in the index. Is that true? 044 is in the index, apparently. Okay, so I need to figure out exactly what's going wrong there. Let's just make a note of that, because I'll deal with that later. Isn't getting the last person in. The index from the table of contents. Okay. Sorry for the multi. Oh no, I lost it. Maybe Twitch IRC didn't allow it. Oops. Twitch clip the explanation. Yeah. Oh, I thought the Twitch chat actually did the history. Holds receive messages from mods to review and reviews only see the ones mods allow. Did I just click go to settings? Children really wants you to take control of the Wacom content, so figure to take it back on every event loop. Ah. Oh, right. Interesting. How do I close this now? So there's the children, okay. Interesting. So, does your event loop also does it also sort of check whether you are focused? You know, because like, Milton would only need to it'd only need to have control of the input if it's got focus, wouldn't it? I think. Let's just see what happens here, though. If I were to move risky 04... Well, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's move risky 046 in. This would be an interesting test, actually. If we move this into here, then refresh. Oh, yeah. So there we go. LED fade demo review has come in. Now it's coming as 44, unfortunately. So yeah, I do need to figure that out. But we can see here that 46 has just been added to the index. But now if I were to move 45 into here, it adds the next person in. Oh, and it has added pure and utter insanity. Ah, interesting. So there's something going on. Well, wait a second. Why why does it care? Like, what is the difference there? Because we had up to 0.44 in the index, but it only showed up to 43. And then we moved 45 into the directory, and it added 44. We moved 46 into the directory, and it added 44. And then we added 45, and it added both 45 and 46. I don't really understand what was the problem there. Let's just try something else, actually. I mean, it's still busted, but I just want a bit of see if I can get a bit of an understanding as to what's going on. Let us move. So we're going to move from 44 to 46 into the previous directory. Turn to do when which is in focus. Going to the Wacom docs, it's fine to call it as often as we do. Ah, okay. Cool. So I guess that's what Casey's overlay is doing. It's just doing exactly the same thing, just trying to take control as often as it does, as often as possible. So let's try this once more. Let's just remove the index. We're going to run our program. So the most recent one here is 38 at 37 minutes past. Now we've got this at 40 minutes past. So this contains up to 43, which is as we'd expect, isn't it? Because we moved 44 out of the way. So if I now cat the index, yeah, it has got up to 43. I don't think this is what happened before, was it? I mean, I kind of feel like if I just move these guys in now, because 43 is in, it's just going to work. So maybe it is right. Oops, not remove. Let's add them in reverse order as well. So there 46 has gone in. And there's... interesting. It hasn't added 46. Despite... I bet you 46 is in the thing. Yeah, so 46 is in the index. But it hasn't added that to the table of contents. But if I now move 44 in... Well, actually, I'll tell you what. If I actually move 45 in... Let's see if that gets picked up. It does. So there's 43, there's 45, and there's 46. That's very unusual. There's definitely something going awry here. .43, 45, 46. So That one matches up. 43, 45, 46. We've got 43, 45, 46. And then if we add 44, that's obviously going to be fine. And there we have it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. By the way, I installed Arch on a VM. It was fun. The wiki is awesome. The wiki is awesome. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the big selling points for me, Serge. That was, I mean, before I moved to Arch, I was on Fedora, and I often found myself, like, when I'd search on DuckDuckGo for, like, anything to do with Linux, it'd always point me to the wiki, to the Arch Linux wiki. So, I kind of thought, well, I mean, since I'm using their documentation so much, I might as well just use the actual distribution. So that's what I did. And also, I like the fact that it's a rolling release model, I guess you call it. So, like, previously, when I was on Fedora, I'd need to reinstall it, like, every 2 years or so, because that's on quite a fast release cycle. And I just kind of got a bit sick of having to do that, really. But Arch doesn't require that at all. You just keep updating it. It's just the same thing. And I mean, there have been big changes over time. For example, moving from sysvinit, I think is what it was called. Moving from that to systemd was quite a big change. But that happened just kind of seamlessly as a part of just a regular. Well, actually, I don't maybe not quite a regular update, but I think there was some manual intervention, but I didn't need to like reinstall the system at all. And there's also some other issue, another big change to do with just the file system layout. Like, I think, like, I'm pretty sure lib64 used to be in user or something. Yeah, okay, so these are kind of sim-linked around, and I think, like, before these were moved into this, where they are now, they were somewhere else, and there was quite a big kind of change that required manual intervention, basically. So you needed to do some stuff yourself, but you didn't need to reinstall your whole system. So, you know, they provided good documentation for doing that as well, which was great. The live version of multi-forums. Amazing Arch Wiki. Right, yeah. Might as well switch. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, you do see Ubuntu forums popping up more frequently now, actually. You also used to get like linuxquestions.org. That used to pop up. Pretty sure that's the site. Yeah, linuxquestions.org. Yeah, that pops up occasionally as well. In fact, funnily enough, the Arch wiki doesn't really pop up in searches as often as it used to do. Now I come to think of it. Like, gosh, I don't know if I could even search for something here. Yeah, I can't really remember what kind of. You guys sounds one right, yeah. Yeah, maybe the Ubuntu forums is the one that pops up more frequently nowadays. I think it's possibly the most popular distribution still. Oh, Mint is the most popular, is it? Oh yeah, Manjaro, right. So yeah, people like that, don't they? So Ubuntu's coming down. Oh, they're all coming down, apart from Antergos. So I think that's another Arch derivative, isn't it? There's Arch down at 14. TrueOS. Solus, yes. There's a few I haven't even heard of here. I'm pretty sure Antergos is an Arch-based one, isn't it? Yeah. Cinera. Okay. What does HPD? Hits per day. Yeah, I mean, I guess these figures probably might not be actually representative of users. Because I've got to be honest, I don't even go on DistroWatch myself. Parent security. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't even get counted under these stats. What does that X mean? What did that say? Papadopoulos. Okay, yeah. So there's questions. Yeah, so I think this is I mean, this part of it is kind of working, I think. We are successfully watching a directory, and if we quit, it just quits fine. I wonder if it'd be an interesting exercise, actually, just to see if, for example, let's just see if I can reproduce what that issue was. So I'll move these three out of the way. Move the index. I ran the program. So we've got this down to 43. I then moved 46 in, didn't I? .46 got added there, but it didn't get added to the index file. So if I now kill the program, and then run it again, I mean, surely 46 will get included. Like, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. And why is that actually? Is that what's that? What? Hang on. Test. Oh, right, because we've got the index file. Yeah, it's not going to build that because we've got the index file. And the index file I've already established contains, that will contain 46 because that's there. But the issue is that it didn't pick up, it didn't include 46 in here. So it kind of feels like the refresh, well, maybe the refresh index function, it sort of feels like this needs to tell us if we've inserted. Well, it does. Inserted equals true. if we found no op or refreshed, so if we've refreshed, it tells us that is false. And like we clearly have refreshed because the index contains 46. The index contains 46. The table of contents doesn't. Oh, wait a second. It's this person here that builds a table of contents. Indexed file, isn't it? So, yeah, it feels like I need to actually fully figure out what's going on here. I think that is the to-do. Let's make a note of the to-do map. Fully figure out why the, hang on a minute, indexed file, f close, copies into buffer, indexed file, copies into buffer collision. What? Where's the f write happening? There's an f write up here into the index location. Oh, right, yeah, of course. So this is actually writing into the collation buffer's index. But it seems like in some situations this stuff isn't getting written out. Maybe. Like when we refresh projects, after having called refresh index, if we've refreshed, which is what that was saying, so the index, this is our index file here, the output path is going to be that. Close directory. The index page path should be here. Oh right, yeah, buffers to HTML. Yeah, right, so this person does it. And also, hang on. The output path. What's the difference between output path output dir and config base dir? What's the difference? Config base dir. Output dir. Right, where's that? Oh, hang on, that's here, right. So output dir is here. The config base dir and the base file name is apparently that. Okay. So that's for the player, I guess. And then the index page is here. So we call that. Let's just make an. I'm going to continue making that note. Fully figure out why the table of contents doesn't always get all the stuff from the index. Steps to reproduce. So move risky 04 to 6. Out of the way. Call the program. Move risky into the project directory. And then see that the index file contains risky 046. The player page for risky 6. See the risky 46 is in the index file. Has its own player page, but is not mentioned in the table of contents. Right, that's basically the issue. So that's what I need to figure out. But for now, I think we're okay. I think I'm going to call it here. It's not 3 o'clock in the morning, so it's definitely high time that I got some rest. But yeah, I think we've successfully got this doing what we want to do, and it's not pegging any processor. The sleep could be configurable if I wanted it to be. Yeah, but for now I think I'm going to call it here. We made a note of the go to RIP. Yeah. Next on the go to RIP, global memory arena. Oh, memory arena and config, wasn't it? That was the other thing. And the table of content isn't good. Yeah, table of contents snafu. Four 4203. Is that right? 4203. Alright. So let's call it here. How long have we going? 2.5 hours. Alright, so that, guess that wasn't too bad. I did have to copy and paste a little bit of stuff, but I think mostly I remembered the general gist of what we were actually having to do. And then went ahead and did it, I guess. Put it in a directory. I guess we're not doing any error checking, as the test program did. So maybe I ought to get that in. Now that I at least know that this works. But yeah, let us call it here for now. So thank you very much, Heroes and Heroines, for being here, for being heroic, and for fixing the bug in Milton. Until next time, farewell for now.